keep it. Okay, I was just curious. Whoops. Share screen.
I don't think we have it. Do you have that?
I don't know. I don't know if we should. This is our first time like doing it this way, so I don't know. Are we? Is it
It'll
basically
be
the same
fun.
thing as past years?
Yeah, we'll
Okay. Okay.
Ish.
All right, go ahead.
Are you gonna make it big?
Oh, sure. There we go.
All right, hello and welcome everybody to the RA info session. Today we're gonna just kind of talk you through what it means to be an RA and what ORL does here on campus. So kind of like how I said, our little agenda right here. First we're gonna talk about who we are, then we'll tell you what we do, what it takes, and then we'll have a few RAs come up and talk to you about what it means to be an RA.
So first we're going to talk about the ORL mission statement. So you can read it on the screen, but basically we have certain things that we're really trying to focus in on ORL. So that is diversity, sustainability, fun, learning, and warmth. And these are the kind of things that you get to experience and teach residents and do if you're part of ORL. So here we try to focus a lot on trying to have diverse staff, trying to have lots of diversity conversations, try to be sustainable within our halls and promote sustainability. We're also just a really fun office to be in and a fun role to be in. It's a lot of learning yourself and also teaching others. And then it's just kind of a warm environment. Everyone's really friendly to everybody else.
So basically, why does ORL matter? To put it short, your residence hall is your home away from home. You sleep here, you study here, you make friends, and ultimately you learn a lot of life skills that you'll end up using for the rest of your life.
So what do we do as RAs? Well, one of the things is that we put a lot of effort into our halls to ensure that it's a community for everybody. No matter who you are, where you came from, what your identity is, we want it to be home for you. So this just means you're always going to engage with residents. You're going to talk to them about their day. You're going to try to teach, learn, and also learn from them. It's a lot of interpersonal communication with other people. Another thing you're going to do is serve as a resource for others. So they'll come to you about things, and then you can outsource them to other places as well if they need to. You're also going to develop a lot of different programming. That's kind of the fun part, I think, is being an RA, is you get to do a lot of like, okay, I want my floor to learn this or experience this or have community around this. And so then you can set up an entire program with the help of your RCAs and your ADs to be able to experience those things with your residents. You're also going to be on duty. So duty is really simple. It's just approximately one night a week. You'll be on call, and so if someone needs something, they can call you. But you always have people back behind you to kind of help you through if you need help in a situation. And then you're going to learn about the different policies in the hall, and then try to implement those and help others recognize and realize what those policies are. And you won't do this all alone. We're not going to leave you stranded. You'll get a lot of training on different things. Some of this is going to be, like Emily said earlier, learning about yourself and just qualities that you can use later in life, but also going to be training you on how to handle certain situations, how to be confrontational but in a kind way, how to deal with a lot of things that could come up during your day-to-day.
So now we're going to talk about who can do it. And really the short answer is that anybody who has a passion for building community and having a large impact on campus can do this job. Many new staff members worry about different time constraints like Greek life or athletics, but really we have people from all walks of life all around campus here in ORL. And really we need those different perspectives because you're able to communicate and connect with different residents depending on what activities you're a part of. So each of these activities, everybody here in ORL is involved in different things, and that shouldn't be something that you're worried about because you can still be part of ORL and do all these different activities at the same time.
Hey, Emily, what are you involved in?
Yeah, so I'm the president of the Peace Garden. I play the drums for Titan Band, for Jazz Lab. I'm doing research right now with some professors, and I'm also the environmental studies student worker.
Do you find it hard?
Not really. I mean, obviously it's a big time commitment, but I'm able to do it and I still have a lot of fun, so. How about you?
Oh, wow, glad you asked. So I'm a bio major, so sometimes that also can come in. People think that their majors are too time restrictive and they're just not going to be able to do it, but you totally can. Again, it's really about time management and thinking about what do you really want out of your 4 years at Wesleyan. And I don't know about you, but for me, it was being an RA and getting to meet and talk to people and really make an impact on others, and really help them figure out why they chose Wesleyan and why they stay here. So what does it take? Well, it's pretty simple. You're going to be a full-time student. You have to have a minimum of 2.75 GPA, and you're going to be in good financial and judicial standing with the dean's office and with ORL. So this would be kind of the same if you had any other job on campus. So it's pretty simple, actually. Your expectations for the year is going to be estimated 10 hours a week. However, we like to say those 10 hours aren't very rigid. It's not like you're going to have to be in an office or in your room for those 10 hours. It's a lot of talking to residents, putting out flyers, figuring out programming. And so it's not going to be 2 to 4 on Tuesdays. It's going to be a lot of when you can, making sure that you're reaching out to people when they're available and kind of fitting into your schedule as you can. You'll also arrive early for campus for training. You'll stay late during breaks, and you'll also stay after closing, and you'll probably also stay for May term if you're taking a class or not taking a class.
So now on to the benefits and remuneration. So the first and biggest benefit that you get from being an RA is having professional experiences and development. So RAs here on campus get to connect with multiple different resources, and that's really good because you get connected with the campus in a way that you wouldn't get any way else. So you can connect with the Career Center, Counseling and Consultation, Office of Diversity and Inclusion, other things like that, where you just get to talk and connect with people that can push you forward into your career later on in life. And then also just more technical things. You get credit towards your IB room charge. You get a stipend during your fall, spring, and May term semesters. And then also just so you know, taking a position with ORL does take place of your work study, but you can still have another job if you get payroll. So just something to think about.
So what are the current types of RAs? So you'll have upperclassmen RAs and first-year RAs. So our first-year halls are Gulick, Ferguson, and Munsell, and you can see how many RAs we have per hall. You'll also have Blackstock, Dodds, Dolan, Harriet, Kemp, McGill, and Pfeiffer for your upper division halls. And when you're thinking about your upper division halls, something that you can think about as you're going through the process of I think I want to be an RA is that we do have some affinity and themed housing. So Blackstock is theater, Pfeiffer is the rainbow floor, and then Kemp is POC housing. So you can start thinking about that, about, okay, I really want to be an RA, and I think that this might be a community that I would be really good and I'm passionate about helping and working with. And so then you can bring that to us during your interview so that we're aware of that when we're doing hiring.
So now that we kind of got all of the logistics out of the way, we're going to have a few RAs come up here and we're going to ask them some questions.
Yay!
Oh, thank you. Oh, I know I'm blocking it. I already. No, I'll get back to it.
So who are you?
I'm Vienna. I'm the Ferguson 7th floor RA. Seniors here.
I'm Josh. I'm the 2nd floor RA for Gulick.
We forgot to introduce ourselves.
I know.
Who are you?
My name is Emily. I'm the RCA of Munsell, and I'm a senior environmental studies student.
I am Katie. I'm a junior this year, biology major, and I'm the RCA in Gulick Blackstock.
Cool. So I guess first question, how has this position changed you or your experience at IWU?
I've definitely becoming a lot more responsible than I was last year. Just a little snippet. Last year I was in Munsell 7 and I never really had to lock my door. But now I've learned that if I leave my keys in my dorm, I'll lock myself out. So I always have my keys on me now, and that's another step to being responsible on campus.
For me, I just was glad that I was able to meet so many different students. For me, I was during my sophomore year, I was an RA in Harriet, and then junior year, I was an RA in Blackstock, and now I'm a first year RA. So I've just been able to meet like so many different students with like different like passions and different like grade levels and stuff like that. So I think it was just really great just to meet a lot of people and get to know them.
So why are you an RA? Why did you want to be an RA?
I just was like, I'm really into community building, and like growing up in my family, I didn't really have a strong community feeling, and so I wanted to seek that in college. And so I just appreciate that in a residence hall with like other residents, not only are like you like kind of have to interact with them just because you're an RA, but like I guess like helping people and having the knowledge that like people there on your floor are with you throughout the whole year.
So I became an RA for the socialization aspect of it. Being an RA, like previously covered, means that you get to know a lot of faculty and staff on campus. So you get really close with your area directors, like Margaret over here, Queen. And you also get social experience in many different other classes. So as a first year RA, I get to talk a lot with first years, but I still get to foster relationships with upper division RAs as well as their residents too.
Cool. So what's the thing that you enjoy most about being an RA?
I think for me, I really felt that I really enjoyed being an RA this year because I actually found that I really like working with first years. In the past, I worked with upper division, but with upper division, they kind of know what they're doing, and I just wasn't able to interact with them that much. But with first years, I see them really frequently. Also in Harriet, since it's suite style, I didn't really see residents because they had their bathrooms in their own suites and stuff like that. And and so in a first year hall, I get to see my residents very often. I get to interact with them a lot more because of the first year curriculum. And I really enjoy helping others. So I like seeing that what I do makes a direct impact on them.
What was the question?
What's your favorite part about being an RA?
Okay. Favorite part? I don't really know yet. Still like in the midst of it. But as of right now, my favorite part of being an RA is the aspect of building a community, and that I get to be a part of building a community for first years on campus. But I guess my favorite moment of being an RA is move-in day. That's basically your first interaction with your residents, and that's where you get to like see their family, get to know what they're like before actually interacting with them. And it's like that initial spark that you have with your residents.
I'd say too, like for me, I still see residents that I've had in past, and we still have good relationships, and they're able to come to me about things, and I can still talk to them about things that I knew they were struggling with as first years, and see how they've really grown throughout their years at Wesleyan. So that's a really great experience that you get to have when you're an RA.
I just like to put in another thing. Being a person of color as well as being an RA and building that community, I have such a major impact on campus. This year, I had a resident during move-in day say that he was so grateful to see another person like him as their RA, and we're pretty close now. So.
Cool. So is there anything that kind of challenges you in your role on the day-to-day, or as you've been an RA?
For me, it's my stature. So I'm a 5'4" Asian male, and imagine like 5'4" me trying to tell a 6'4" freshman to like put on their mask.
I love how
And
we're all
it's
short here.
I'm better than you.
It's a very weird power dynamic, but I guess first years are still kind of scared of their RA and like scared of getting in trouble. I feel like it would be a more awkward situation with an upper division. But that's been like my major struggle right now is being intimidating.
I actually kind of agree with that. As a sophomore, I was an RA in Harriet, and I was just like, everyone here is upper division, like older than me, and I was just like, no one's gonna listen to me when I do things, or when I ask them to do something. They kind of didn't, but at the same time, I mean, that was just a little bit intimidating. And the RA room in Harriet is 421, and right across is 420. And so they had parties frequently, and there was just one time there was like a major party, and then I had to ask for backup for that. But that was just a little bit intimidating for me because it was like my first year as an RA, but also in upper division hall, where some people were allowed to have alcohol and some people weren't. So there's that, and also just in general, just knocking people's doors when it's too loud or when there are other parties, and just having that intervention. It's a little bit challenging because for me, I personally, I just don't like to have like a bad relationship with someone, but I do know it's for it to have that conversation, especially when it's not right.
I think it's good that you like got back up. A lot of the things that like I really enjoy about being on RA is that you always have somebody there that you can go to if you need help, whether it's a fellow RA, an RCA, an AED. You always have someone else there to kind of like go through the process with you. So you're never really alone. It's not your responsibility to do anything. It's our responsibility to kind of work together and be in community together. I think that's another great thing about working specifically in ORL is that you get to meet so many other amazing people and really build relationships. Like I met all of you guys kind of through this job, and now we're all like such great friends.
Yeah.
And like I just couldn't imagine what my like college experience would have been without, getting to meet you guys and be in community with everybody.
For sure. So kind of going off of that, do you feel like those challenges have helped build any skills for you guys?
Yes, definitely. Okay, so I've never really been a question person. I've never really asked questions because I always thought I could do things like figure things out on my own. But like being an RA and like literally not knowing anything about like how policy works or how to like be responsible as an RA and for my residents as well. I definitely have asked possibly the most amount of questions in my lifetime this year, or just this semester actually. And it's great because like we have that group me, right? And I'm able to ask questions like directly to Margaret and ask about like policies and stuff. Or I can ask about like the more like little things like, can I let my resident wash their dishes in the sink in the laundry room? It's just, I really learned how to ask questions, and like that also helps me be accountable for myself and not give my residents false information.
For me, it was just having more self-confidence in myself. Growing up, I had really low self-esteem and low self-confidence, but being in this role, have I realized, like, I don't have to be like super authoritarian, but just that like if something needs to be done, I should be able to like do it. And also, over the years, I've learned just to be a little more assertive of myself, and especially now with the mask, there are still some residents who don't wear masks, so I just have to be like, I just tell them straight up, and like usually, I mean, they don't really say anything about it other than just comply.
Has anything kind of like surprised you? Like you got your, yay, I'm an RA now, and then you like got into the job and something just really surprised you about what the role is? It's okay if the answer's no.
Well, I guess like maybe the events or like the event planning. I know when I was a sophomore and then I was already Harriet, our first event, no one came to it, and it was just the RAs. So that was a little bit just disappointing, because for me, like if there's an event, I would be like excited to go. But I guess like it's just different with different communities. I know like in Blackstock, I had like a cupcake making event, and some of them came to that. But yeah, so I guess like just event planning and having like people not show up, I guess that was a little bit surprising for me.
So show up when your RA has an
Yeah.
event.
Yes.
You make us sad if you don't.
Yeah, don't make us sad.
For me, it's the flexibility of time that ORL has, because you are a student first, and if like you have like something going on, or like if you're not in the right mental state, like someone will cover your duty for you and give you that time to recuperate. And I think the misconception that a lot of people have, and I've been talking with my first years during one-on-ones and asking them if they do want to be an RA, they always come up with the statement like, oh, it's too much of a time commitment. And although it, like, I don't want to say it, but it's really not. It's just the flexibility of ORL to accommodate your time is so, like, I was shocked by it, because I had all these things lined up, like I was going to be part of all these clubs, and then like I obviously kind of died it down because I was overworked. But like I have 2 jobs on campus. I'm a writing center tutor and I'm an RA, and I'm able to navigate between those jobs pretty fluidly. And also, another tip is to have like your area director, whoever your boss is, like Margaret for my RA, and then Anna for my writing center tutoring. We communicate pretty fluidly.
You're also a nursing major, right?
Yes.
So that's even more time.
Yes. So I'm a nursing major and I have a psych minor. So between like RA tutoring and then like my nursing labs, mock comps and comps, it's a lot of time, but that time does fit into your schedule. And if it doesn't, all you have to do is come up with a question and ask your fellow RAs if they can cover, and usually do.
There are actually a lot of RAs that are nursing majors, which is surprising because obviously that shows that even though they have a huge time commitment there, you're still able to make time for ORL, and ORL is able to be flexible with you. So.
Yeah, ORL's not one of those like, my office opens at 9 and it closes at 4, and if you need something in an off hour, send me an email, I'll answer at 8 a.m. It's very much like when you need them, they'll be there for you. Somebody's always going to be there for you.
So I guess going off of that, talking about the busyness and everything like that, how do you make time for yourself, like outside of the position? Self-care, everybody.
So what I've been doing is if I have an hour break between classes or between like meetings and that such, I usually do my schoolwork then. But if I have a longer time period, that's when I take my more time-consuming stuff. So like, if I'm gonna take my 3-hour daily naps, I'm gonna have like 6 hours like planned out. But those 6 hours are usually in the evening or at night. So that's when usually like no meetings occur. If there is one, it's usually like once or twice a week. And then you have the other days of the week to recuperate.
For me, I like to wake up early. So usually in the morning, I've integrated exercising as part of my daily like routine. And so I exercise in the morning, and then I guess before like I like do work or study, I guess have that morning just to like relax and just like have coffee and stuff like that. And also like in the evenings, I also use that time just to like calm down as well. But I also, for me, I'm a social person, so I really like talking to other people. During meal times, that's when I seek out other people and just like relieve any stress by talking to other people. And I think that's a really great opportunity also because now you don't really see any people on campus besides getting food. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Use food time.
Yes, use food time.
Food time is social time, and social time is food time.
Yes. And also, honestly, like, it just makes someone's day a lot better if you ask them, like, when to grab lunch. It just brightens up someone's day a lot. And also, without being busy, like, I'm a double major of biology, international studies. I also work I'm a student or titan ambassador. In past years, I worked at an off-campus job, Casey's Garden Shop, which is amazing. So I have that, and then like I'm on exec boards for like I think 2 clubs, and then I've just been involved with other things as well. But I also agree with Josh, the time commitment for this is not super demanding, and I was glad that I was able to fit like everything I want to do within this.
I would say like when I think about the things that I have to do as an RA, I don't think about it as like my job. I think about it as like things that I actively want to do instead of homework. Like I would much rather like plan a program or like talk to my residents, go grab lunch or coffee with somebody than I would like sit down and look at my histology lab. But I gotta do both.
Also, I know another thing is people are usually worried about the whole like duty thing and like, oh my gosh, I'm on duty. I have to be working like from 8 at night to 8 in the morning, but it's definitely not like that. You're just in your room. You can do whatever you want as long as you're in the residence hall. So usually I take that time to like do my homework for the week or get ahead in classes. That way I have more time later on to hang out with friends and stuff. So
yeah. Is there anything else that you guys would like to add or talk about in your roles in RA?
I find it to be really rewarding, like just in general. Like I mean, some people are very drawn to the idea that your room is covered, but it's so much more than that. I think that I've made a lot of like just valuable relationships with like my RA as a freshman, also my residents. So I think it's a really rewarding job.
For me, I think of it as how do you say it? So what you plan to take out of being an RA is what you get. So if you want to be the RA that doesn't really do anything, that doesn't want to interact with their residents, and you're kind of just like in and out of your room and you don't really do anything, like you can be that RA and you'll still get paid, but you'll lose that social interaction, you lose those senses of responsibility. But if you are like vigilant about things and you're willing and you really like what you're doing, you'll receive that type of feedback back from your residents. So like if you present yourself like you're the fun RA that does fun things, your residents are gonna do fun things with you.
well, cool. Thank you guys so much for answering our questions, and I think we have a few more slides.
Yeah.
Just know, like, this is pretty self-explanatory, but your application information will be coming to you soon, probably toward the end of this semester, beginning of next semester. So just look out for that. And also check out our Instagram, which you can either go to the username there or use the QR code. And then obviously, if you have any questions for any of us, here's our contact information. You could contact me, Katie, or Margaret over here, or obviously your first year RA or your RCA.
Yeah, your first year RAs or your RAs and then your RCAs are gonna be the best people that you can talk to about what the RA role is. They're in it right now, like they'll know.
Yeah.
So if you have any questions, like feel free to go reach out. They'll probably have something to tell you about it.
Cool. Well, thank you all, and hope you have a good day.